Hi. Have to work. Trying to make it a point to like not be as late. See, I'm already making excuses. You're making excuses and you haven't even done anything. Yeah. Yeah, like I'm already like finding a way to back out of even an attempt to be on time for anything. I think that I have to tell myself that like being early is like being late. So that's probably what's going to have to happen in order for me to successfully be on time. Not the MTV Party to Go ambulance. So not as much fun. No ecstasy tablets. I'm gonna run this joke into the ground because it's the stupidest joke. In case you're not familiar with what we do, we work at a restaurant, which you will see coming up shortly. Okay, we work at this restaurant, and we're also a stand-up comedian. Yes, you can go. You know why you can go? Because I'm turning. I am turning, so you can go. There you go. But yeah, so I do stand-up comedy. Not as often as I should. But, that's Andrew. But, because I'm a living comedian, as I rightfully call myself, I meow at people. I meow because I like cats, obviously. I like cats, and I think that the way that humans communicate is kind of stupid and silly and doesn't make sense. So I meow at people just randomly. You know, sometimes I think that there's like a rhyme or reason, but other times I don't think there is at all. But I do these videos because I think it's therapeutic for people to know that, you know, like other human beings on planet Earth go through stuff, you know, like psychological stuff. I know it definitely helps people, you know, if you're, just from what I've seen in the 12-step program, you know, if you have a problem, you know, it helps to listen to other people that have that problem. Now, sometimes those people just get together and complain, but, you know, it's really nice to, you know, provide insight. And I think that, you know, the way that I live my life is pretty authentic, you know, by comparison to the way that most Americans live, because I don't have a smartphone. I hate smartphones with a passion. I hate your smartphone. It's probably the worst thing about you. Just to let you know. Nobody's going to tell you that, because the worst thing about them is their smartphone, you know? People just have no idea how much they're really missing out on, all because they stare at this little box all the time. But that's y'all's world. It's not my world, you know? I don't choose to participate in things that mark the end of our civilization. Not that that's really such a bad thing, but it's like, I feel like I can appreciate whatever this civilization pretends to be. You know, I can appreciate shit like electricity and, you know, my motor vehicle, even though I suck at driving it. I appreciate having my job. I appreciate making what money I make to be able to take care of things that I need to take care of. I appreciate, the house that I live in and the bed that I sleep in and my pillows, my overzealous amount of pillows that I can't stop buying because I still have a vagina no matter what my head says. And, you know, there's just a lot. There's just a lot to me. And, there's a lot to our civilization that they don't seem to understand at all. They don't understand it, they don't appreciate it, which is why it's being destroyed and taken away from them. And they don't even care because they're just watching TV all the time, So, we're just very aware of things like that. And it's quite frustrating living in a country that's not aware of those things. And then you try to tell them and they just, do what comes naturally. You don't understand something, you just shake your head and go, well, that's dumb. Because it doesn't make sense to me, it just doesn't make sense at all. And that's dumb right there. Because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense to me, but I try to understand it. Because that's what we're supposed to do, is try to understand things. At least I thought that that's what we're supposed to do, but maybe I'm the only one that does that. I don't know. I'll be right back. Sorry, I know I've been showing you my ass a lot, and you were probably looking forward to that, but I didn't feel like giving it to you this time, okay? Yeah, so when I started doing YouTube, I had been doing stand-up for, I guess, 5 or 6 months or something, and I decided to do the YouTube because, it had been strongly suggested to me from YouTube's founding that I should do a channel because my life was really interesting. So this was suggested to me when I was a drunk. But I was a funny drunk. I was a funny drunk that self-destructed in ways that were so obvious that it was it should have been evident that I was going to be a stand-up comedian eventually, because that was the only option that I was giving myself. And I asked myself that question a lot in relation to the number of suitors that I've had over the years, the number of men that I've had sexual intercourse with. I think about that I just basically cursed myself. But maybe I did that on purpose because I don't want to be attractive to people. I don't want anything to do with society, so I feel like I just, destroyed all my chances for having a normal ass life by, mistakes that I made during my 20s. But, I feel like it was supposed to happen though, because, I don't know. I talk a lot about how I feel like comedy is my calling and all that, but it's you'd think that if that were true, that I would be out there a lot more, right? I would be pushing myself and trying to get gigs at comedy clubs, and you think I'd be on Twitter at the very least, but I just hate selling out. I just hate that idea of having to schmooze with people and lie and pretend that I'm interested in the things that they're interested in, and I don't mind buying people drinks. I do that shit already, but it's I don't want to ever have to be fake. I don't want to have to
be enthusiastic. I can't. That's not my thing. No affect. Like, when people talk to me, they can't tell, like, my feelings. Because, if they say something really bad, like, I'll, cry about it when I'm not around them anymore. But, yeah, it's just weird. Like, being in this world, and it's like I'm in this society of people that are either, like, emotionless because of the medications they're on, so it's like they feel nothing, or they're just, like, overly sensitive, emotional basket cases. So both of those options are not good. You'd think that it would be less formidable to just be around somebody that was, like, a zombie, but that's not good. That's not better. Because you can't make fun of that. Mainly, that's my problem with zombies. They're just not funny. At least when you're around a borderline personality or some narcissist, like, you can just make fun of how they totally lack in self-awareness, but, at least there's something there. There's some form of entertainment. With, like, zombie, it's just, watch this person dutifully take their antidepressant. Watch this person dutifully do whatever they're told to do and say whatever they're told to say whenever they're told to say it. I mean, that's the whole point of, like, the hashtags and, these popular catchphrases and all that. It's all for the purpose of, like, brainwashing that society to just do whatever. It's not even about what, like, the thing that they're trying to get you to do. It's about, like, training you to do as they tell you. Whether it's your educator or your doctor or your politician, it's all for the bigger picture purpose of making you just a slave that doesn't question anything that your master tells you to do. You just do it. But, I know that was, like, a pretty dark video, but so dark. But the sun isn't dark, is it? No, it's not. And the vortex is like, no, don't do that to me. I can't handle this shit. You and me both.